I have exams
For what subject?
for language and geography.
Malaysian.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Also geography, science, mathematics.
That's a lot of exams.
Yes.
How did you do?
Quite good.
Well done. And have you finished now, or do you have some more next week?
No.
You finished.
Yes.
Well done. You deserve a rest this weekend. How are you going to rest? You going to do anything fun?
No.
No? Maybe read a book, go to the park?
Maybe.
Maybe. See your friends, maybe. How are you, Tan?
I'm good.
You're good? You didn't have exams, did you?
No,
No, that's good. How was your week?
I go to school marching this morning.
You went this morning as well. What did you do this morning? Is it sports?
Marching,
Marching?
yes.
I'm not sure what that is. Spell it, let's see.
Like walk
Oh, marching.
marching.
Okay. Oh, and you do that at school?
Yes, for the prepare for the camp.
Oh, what camp?
Red Crescent,
Hmm?
Red Crescent.
Red Crescent. Is that a summer camp, or what kind of camp is it? Do you go somewhere?
No,
What, what do you do during the camp?
have competition,
Okay. What kind of competition?
marching competition.
Marching competitions. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard of anything like that. I think it's very specific for Malaysian culture. We don't really have that. Oh, that's very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Right, let's go to our book. Last lesson, I told you girls to read pages, the grammar section. Have you girls managed to read it? The grammar page, let's see, 100, I think, 134. If you haven't read it, we're going to, where is it? 134. There you go, I found it. If you haven't done it, we're going to do it again today because we are going to work with defining and non-defining relative clauses today. So all these words, which, that, who, whose, when, and where, these are relative pronouns. They're called pronouns. These relative pronouns can introduce defining clauses or non-defining clauses. And let's see what the difference between them is. I'm going to ask you to read the first paragraph. Can you read the first one for me, Singing?
Relative clauses are used to link different pieces of information in one sentence. The film Titanic, which made Leonardo DiCaprio famous, was made in 1997. We use relative clauses to avoid short, simple sentences like these ones. The film Titanic was made in 1997. It made Leonardo DiCaprio famous.
Excellent. So basically we use these relative pronouns to link two short sentences to make it into a bigger sentence that gives a bit more information, right? Now, let's see the difference between defining relative clauses. So clause is just another word for sentence, by the way. So let's see the difference between defining and non-defining. Tan, can you read defining relative clauses?
These clauses give us essential information which tells us exactly which person or thing we are referring to. The actor who plays Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill.
Read the next one as well, without.
Without the information in the relative clause, we would not know which actor we are talking about.
That's it. So defining means that the pronoun is introducing a sentence that gives you essential information. So information without which you wouldn't be able to understand the sentence. So if you didn't have the essential information introduced by the pronoun, you wouldn't understand the sentence. Okay, so that's a defining relative clause. There are also non-defining relative clauses, and let's see what that means. Sing in.
These clauses give us extra non-essential information. The sentence still makes sense without this relative clause. The first Star Wars film, which was directed by George Lucas, came out in 1977. The first Star Wars film came out in 1977.
That's it. So non-defining is giving information that's not essential. So you can understand the sentence without that information. For example, the film Star Wars came out in 1977. Makes sense. If you add which was directed by George Lucas, it's an additional piece of information, but you could still understand the sentence without it. Yeah, that's the only difference between these two types of sentences. And we had last lesson, we had to look at the relative pronouns, and we learned that who refers to people, which refers to things, and that refers to both of them. Then we have whose that refers to possession or relationships, where to places, when to time, and why is referring to reasons and explanations. Quite straightforward. Now, there are a couple of things about punctuation here. Defining clauses do not have commas. You see, the actor who plays Luke Skywalker is Mark Hamill, no commas. In a non-defining clause, you have to have commas. They're like little pauses in English. Okay, and then you use the same relative pronouns. That in defining clauses can be used instead of who or which, but in non-defining clauses, you can't use it. Okay, and sometimes in defining clauses, you can leave some of the pronouns out. It's all good, but I think you'll be able to understand it better in practice. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do exercise 1. Complete the sentences with a relative pronoun. Okay? Have you done it? No, okay. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Let me know when you're finished. Finished? Yeah? Okay, well, let's check. Tan, can you do the first sentence for me?
Ben's the person whose bike was stolen last week.
Perfect. Whose bike was stolen? Would you be able to leave out the pronoun? Would you be able to have the sentence without the pronoun? Ben's the person bike was stolen last week. Would that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. So can you understand the sentence? Ben's the person bike was stolen last week. Without whose?
No.
No. So does that mean that it's a defining or non-defining relative clause?
Defining relative.
Excellent. Well done. Singing, number 2.
That's the dog that tried to bite me.
Very good. That tried to bite me. Would you be able to leave it out?
Yes.
Does the dog try to bite me? Make sense?
Yes.
Without that,
Yes.
it doesn't. That's the dog, but it doesn't make sense without the that. That's the dog. You need to have the that. It's still a defining clause. Dan, number 3.
She doesn't like people who are unfriendly.
Who are unfriendly. Well done. Yeah. Number 4, singing.
That's the house which they want to live in.
Excellent. That's the house which they want to live in, or that they want to live in, either. 10.
Where are the keys which were on the kitchen table?
Very good. Which or that were on the kitchen table. Singing.
We are moving to a quiet place where we can't hear the traffic.
Where? Very good. 10.
The company where David works for makes computers.
Yeah, excellent. Where? And the last one, singing.
I read a lot of books when I was ill at home.
Very good. When I was ill at home. Excellent, girls. Very, very good. Let's see the next sentence, the next exercise, exercise 3. You need to rewrite the sentences using a relative clause. So, for example, the music was by Mozart. Gisela was playing the music last night. You need to use the second sentence to introduce the type of music. So, for example, the music which Gisela was playing last night was by Mozart. And this one, it's a relative, it's a non-defining clause. The music, comma, which Gisela was playing last night, comma, was by Mozart. Okay, so it's giving you additional information. Right, I'll give you a couple of minutes to write in your books the next sentences, and then we are going to check. Finished? Yeah? I don't know. Are you still writing?
Finish.
You finished. Okay. What about you singing? Have you finished?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can you do number 2 singing?
The violin that Gisela was playing in the concert was not hers.
Very good. Well done. The violin that Gisela was playing, or the violin which Gisela was playing? Tani.
James, a musician. Gisela borrowed James' violin.
James. Can you say it again? Say it one more time.
James, a musician. Gisela borrowed James' violin.
It doesn't really work like that. There's no relative pronoun, first of all. You didn't use any pronoun. It might be a matter of thinking about what pronoun would work here. What did you write, singing?
James, who Gisela borrowed the violin from, is also a musician.
Yeah, that works. James, who Gisela borrowed the violin from. Or another way of saying it could be James, whose violin Gisela borrowed, so whose possession, whose violin Gisela borrowed, comma, is also a musician. Yeah, so either whose or who from, that works too. Can you do number 4, Tan?
We have just listened. We have just listened to Gisela's latest recording, which is #1 in the classical charts.
Very good, well done. Yeah, we've just listened to Gisela's latest recording, which is #1 in the classical charts. Very good, Tan. Number 5, singing.
Gisela's mother, who was in the audience tonight, is very proud of her.
Say again. Sorry, I didn't hear you, cut out.
Gisela's mother, who was in the audience tonight, is very proud of her.
Yeah, very good. Gisela's mother, who was in the audience tonight, comma, is very proud of her. Very good. And the last one, Tan.
Tomorrow, Gisela is going back to Vienna.
Vienna is a place.
Where plays in an orchestra.
Yeah, where she plays in an orchestra. Vienna is the capital of Austria, a European country. Yeah, well done. So tomorrow Gisela is going back to Vienna, where she plays in an orchestra. Okay, girls, I think we've done quite a bit of practice with this grammar. Let's go back to unit 9. Let's see what page that was on. Page page. Um, where is it? Okay, page 83. So we're going to do a bit of practice now. Last week we were talking about body parts, and now we're going to rewrite the sentences. Have we done this exercise before? Exercise 6. No, okay. So very similar to what we've done in the grammar section, you need to use a non-defining relative clause. So my arm is better now, I hurt it last week. My arm, which I hurt last week, is better now. So same thing, I'll give you a couple of minutes to finish the next 5 sentences. Okay, girls, shall we check? Yeah. Okay, singing, can you do number 2 for us?
My cousin, who you met, works in the hospital.
Excellent. My cousin who you met works in the hospital. So non-defining means that they are in between commas. Tan.
In the lake where we hire a boat there, we
Where we
went
hired a boat. No, you don't need to use there anymore.
where we hire a boat went in the next valley.
We went to the lake in the next valley. The lake, almost. I think it's the other way around. The first sentence you need to use.
The lake where we went in the next valley.
Doesn't work. Yeah, no, that doesn't work. Singing, maybe you can help me?
I write, the lake where we hired a boat is in the next valley.
That's it. Excellent. The lake where we hired a boat is in the next valley, is located. Yeah. Number 14.
Vicky, whose sister is a teacher, is my best friend.
Excellent. Ricky, whose sister is a teacher, is my best friend. Sing in.
The sports center opened in 2018 when I was 19.
When I was 19. Very good. And the last one, Tan.
Surfing, which is a new Olympic sport, is popular in my country.
Correct. Is surfing popular in your country? Do people do surfing in Malaysia? Tan?
I don't know.
Do you know what surfing is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. What do you know, Singing, if surfing is popular?
Surfing is not so popular in Malaysia.
Okay. Maybe they're not waves. Okay. Right. Number 7. There are some mistakes in these sentences, and we need to underline the mistakes in the sentences and correct them. So I'll give you 5 minutes to do that. Okay, let's check the answers. Number 1, singing.
I want to know which sport is your favorite.
Very good. I want to know which sport is your favorite. Tan.
I can play my favorite sport, which is tennis.
Very good. Excellent. Singing.
They filmed students who were playing football.
Yeah. Who? Not which. They're humans. Tan.
This is the book that my best friend Joey gave me.
Very good. That my best friend Joey gave me. Singing.
One sport which I think is good is swimming.
One sport that I think is good, or which I think is good. Yeah. And the last one, Tan.
I want to learn more about tennis, which is my hobby.
Yeah, very good. Which is my hobby. Excellent. Okay. Now, we were talking about surfing earlier, and what I want us to talk after this is more sports. So we have in exercise 3, we have a bunch of different sports. And I want you to have a look at the verbs do, go, and play. What sports do we use each verb with? Can you tell me what sport you would do? Can?
Gymnastics,
I do gymnastics, yeah.
ice hockey,
No,
mm,
there's one at the beginning.
athletics,
Yeah, that's it. I do athletics. Is there anything else? Singing?
No.
No. I mean, this one is quite interchangeable with go. So sometimes you can use do, sometimes you can use go. What do you normally use go for, Tan?
go climbing,
Yeah, I go climbing. Don't pronounce the D. I go climbing.
I go climbing,
Very good.
go cycling,
Yeah.
go jogging,
Mm-hmm.
go running,
Mm-hmm.
go swimming,
Mm-hmm.
go skiing,
Mm-hmm.
mm, go blading,
Blading, yeah, I go rollerblading. And I go mountain biking as well. Very good. And then singing, can you tell me the sports that you do with play?
I play baseball. I play
Yeah.
basketball. I play football. I play golf. I play ice hockey. I play tennis. I play volleyball.
Perfect. Well done. So now that we know which ones is which, you can do exercise 4. Is it go or play with sports that use balls? Tan.
play,
It's play. Very good. Is it do or go with outdoor sports, singing?
Go.
Go. And then is it do or play with the word sports or activities which we do alone? Tan.
Do.
Yeah, I do sports, or I do athletics, I do what else did we say? I do things that we do alone. Okay, very good, girls. Exercise 5, very similar to this, a mistake. We need to find a mistake. Let's do this one together. So sing and read the first sentence and let's see if we can figure out what the problem is.
I practice horse riding twice a week.
Are there any mistakes here?
I go horse riding twice a week.
Yeah, you can't, I mean, you can practice, but the correct word is I go horse riding. Can.
You can make a lot of sports and activities.
What would you change here?
You can do a lot of sports and activities.
Fantastic. Singing.
In winter, you can go snowboarding.
Excellent. You can go snowboarding. Tan.
We have done table tennis.
Mm.
We do table tennis.
You can't do it because it's not an activity that you play on your own. It's a sport that uses balls.
We have played table tennis.
That's it. Yeah, I played table tennis. Number 5, sing in.
At first, we do aerobics.
The verb is correct, but put it in the past tense.
At first, we done aerobics.
Almost.
At first, we did aerobics.
That's it. We did. Excellent. And the last one, Tan.
We go windsurfing.
We go is present. It's the correct verb, but put it in the past.
We went windsurfing.
Very good. Well done. Okay, now we're going to work together to look at the places where these sports can be played or these activities can be done. And I want you to tell me one sport or activity for each of these places. On a court, in a gym, on a pitch, in a stadium, on a track. So for example, I play basketball on a court. Okay? Can you think of any other phrase where you can use a sport or activity and one of those places? Singing?
I run on a track.
I run on a track. Very good. I run on a track. Excellent. Dan?
I do some warm up in a gym.
Say again, I didn't hear properly.
I do some warm up in a gym.
Yeah, I do some warm up in the gym. Or can you do one of the activities in the box? What can you do from there in the gym?
I go gymnastics in a gym.
I do gymnastics in a gym. Yeah, remember, do is with things that you do alone. I do gymnastics in a gym. Okay, another one, singing.
I play badminton on the court.
Yeah, I play badminton on a court. I think badminton is played on a court. Yeah, it's quite. If you're not really good at sports, it's hard to tell what each place is called. So, for example, pitch is for baseball. I play baseball on a pitch. Is there anything? Is there another sport that you can think of for pitch? A pitch usually has green grass on it, whereas a court has concrete or not grass, basically. Dan, do you know?
I
What?
play
Sorry.
football.
Excellent. That's what I was gonna say. What other sports do you know it's on the grass? I play football on a pitch, a football pitch. And what do we do in a stadium? Singing.
Basketball.
Basketball is more like on a court. A stadium, not really. Tennis is on a stadium. Football is in a stadium. That's pretty much it, really. Yeah. Okay. Which of these clothes and equipment are used in each sport? So let's do it the other way around. We'll take an equipment or a cloth, and you tell me the sport. What sport do we need a bat for?
Tennis.
A tennis racket. It's called a racket, not a bat. We use a bat for a different sport. Sing in.
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah, a bat, baseball, perfect. Or cricket have bats. Yeah. What do we need boots for, Tan? Hmm? Boots, Tan? Sing in.
Football.
Football boots, yeah, excellent. Can you think of anything else?
Baseball.
Baseball, yeah. Baseball boots, I don't know actually. Boots, I think they have a certain type of shoes, but maybe not boots. Climbing, you need boots. Yeah. Anyway, basketball needs boots as well. What about gloves? What do you need gloves for, Tan? For climbing? Yeah, maybe. Although I do climbing and I don't ever have gloves. I need something to not slip from the rocks. So chalk usually on my hands, but I don't use gloves. But you can use gloves for boxing, for example. Yeah. Or maybe when you lift weights, you need gloves. What do you need a helmet for, singing?
For car
For what, sorry?
race.
For races, yeah. So car race, very good. Or a bike race, you need a helmet. And in fact, whenever you go cycling, you need to wear a helmet for protection. Helmets are also used in martial arts, like maybe taekwondo, or I'm not really sure what other martial arts requires a helmet, but some of them do. What about a net? Do you know what a net is? What do you need a net for?
Volleyball.
For volleyball, yeah, excellent. Another one, sing in.
Badminton.
Badminton. Badminton. Do you need a net? Maybe. I don't know. Tennis, definitely. Yeah. What about a racket, San?
Tennis.
Tennis. Well done. Yeah, tennis. And trainers, well, you know, trainers you need it for most sports. Okay, I'll give you a minute or two to do exercise 8. You need to complete the sentences with the verbs draw, lose, score, or win. Okay, let's see. So you beat a player or team. What do you do with a goal, Tan?
You score a goal.
You score a goal. Well done. And singing, what do you do with a match or game?
You draw, lose, or win a game.
That's it. So yeah, you draw when it's a tie, so you both have the same number of points, or you lose or you win. Perfect. Right, I realize we missed out exercise 1, so let's do it now. we need to match the sentences to the pictures. Okay, so can you read the first sentence singing and then tell me which picture it would be?
Doing taekwondo is great exercise and I'm going to get my black belt soon. A.
A, very good. Number 2, Tan.
I really enjoy playing volleyball. It is so fast moving. Picture number C.
Very good. And the last one singing.
I always look forward to going surfing in the summer. B.
That's it. Pretty obvious. Very simple. Well done. Okay. Now, I think we should take a little break and then we're going to dive into this reading exercise, okay? And hopefully by the end of this lesson, we would be able to finish, I don't know, actually, we might not be able to finish module 9, but let's see. I'll give you 10 minutes break. Let's meet up 12 minutes. Let's meet up at 20 past. Yeah, 20 past. Okay, girls, I am back. Okay, let's start with exercise 1. We need to work in pairs and we need to look at the photos and discuss the questions underneath. So we have a couple of photos here. Do any of the people in the picture have a job that is good for their health? Why and why not? Let's try to have this conversation between you two without me intervening. So you can start talking about what the pictures are showing, what jobs they are showing, and then you can say your opinion. Okay, but I want you to try to have a conversation between the two of you. Singing, do you mind starting?
Okay. I think the people who is driving the car have a job that is good for their health because uh, I think the people who is serving the food in the picture have a job that is good for his health because he does not because he no need to sit down for many hours when he was working.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think that?
Yes, I agree. And I think the picture, a woman sitting and looking her computer and don't have a job that is good for her health because she her because I think her job needs to look the computer for a few hours and she didn't have she she didn't exercise.
She doesn't exercise.
Doesn't
Yeah,
exercise.
very good. Excellent, girls. That was very, very good. How many hours a day do you spend sitting down when you are working or studying? Singing. How many hours a day do you spend sitting down?
I usually spend maybe 2 hours sitting down for studying.
Mm-hmm. And then you go and walk a bit around the house, or do you go do some exercise?
I will every maybe 2 hours I will walk around.
Yeah, that's good. You do need that. I feel like when we have the lesson, if we didn't have the break, I feel too tired to sit in front of the computer for so long. And I do need a break to move a bit. What about you, Tan? How long do you spend sitting down?
I spent sitting down also 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. Do you think you spend too much time sitting down, or is that okay?
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. When I am at work, so when I'm at school, I usually walk around a lot during the lessons and I move from one student to another. So I prefer doing that. But when I teach online, it's just sitting down on the chair almost the whole day and it's tiring and your eyes get tired, so it's not very good for my health. Do you girls prefer jobs that are inside or outside? Singing?
Inside.
Inside. What about you, Tan?
Also inside.
Also inside. Okay. Do you prefer jobs where you work with people or where you're doing more independent tasks? Singing.
Independent.
Independent. What about you, Tan?
With other people.
Okay, great. Right, so for exercise 2, we need to read the exam instructions and follow these steps. Let's have a quick look at the instructions. Right, so in exercise 1 on the next page, we need to find the correct answer. Yeah, but for that, we need to read the text first. So we're going to divide the text between us. How about I read the first paragraph, then Tan is reading the second one, and then Sing is reading, actually there are 4 paragraphs, I think 2 paragraphs per person. Tan, read the first 2 paragraphs, and Sing and you read the second 2. Okay? Let's do it.
How many hours a day do you spend sitting down? According to research from AXA-PPP Healthcare, nearly 3/4 of workers spend 4 to 8 hours sitting during office hours. In addition, 27% sit for 30 until 60 minutes traveling to and from work, and 81% spend between 2 and 6 hours of their leisure time sitting down. Worryingly, 73% have had health problems such as back, neck, and shoulder pain, which may all be caused by long periods without moving. Evie Scott experienced just that after she had changed jobs. I used to work in a department store where I was on my feet talking to customers all day, she says, but I needed a higher salary, so I got an office job instead. That means many hours sitting at a desk, and I soon found I had less energy and also various aches and pains. Although the challenge of the new job was quite exciting and I quickly made friends there, for a while I wondered whether I would make a big mistake.
Great. Singing?
So Evie, who travels into town by rail every day, decided to do something about her fitness level. She explains, I didn't want to move house and it took far too long by bike. But what's really helped is getting off several stations before the city center and then walking. I'm also thinking of going to the gym opposite work, and I might also take up squash after work too. Some of my workmates say it's made them much fitter. She's made some small changes at work too. I avoid sitting still for too long. For instance, by making phone calls standing up, walking over to colleges' desk rather than emailing them, and simply standing up every 10 minutes. I even moved things like my printer so that I have to get up to use it. I get some funny looks, but I really don't care. Actually, it helps if others are involved because then you can have short meetings setting up or walking around the office. Over a working day, all this adds up to a fair amount of extra exercise, which I'm convinced helps me work more efficiently and happily.
Okay, perfect. Well done. Very good pronunciation, both of you. Let's have a look at the first question. What is the writer doing in the first paragraph? Is the writer advising people what to do if they have back pain, warning people against taking office jobs, suggesting ways office workers can get more exercise, or explaining why most people are spending more time sitting down. Tan, what do you think?
Question number 1.
Yeah, so the first question.
I think the writer is explaining why most people are spending more time sitting down.
Do you agree with this again?
Yes.
Yeah. So why? Why are they spending more time sitting down? Tan.
Because of their job.
Because of their job and their commute to work in trains and on the underground and buses, they all spend time sitting. Okay. At first, how did Evie feel about working in the office? She found her job rather boring. She missed chatting with other shop assistants. She felt she wasn't paid enough there, or she began to feel less healthy. What do you think, Singin?
She began to feel less healthy.
That's it. Well done. Evie believes that she feels better as a result of doing sports with colleagues, training in a gym near her office, during shorter train journeys, or cycling in and from work. What do you think, Tan?
Mm, Doing sports with colleagues.
So, I don't think she's done that yet. She's planning to do that, to join the gym, but she hasn't done it yet. It's something else. It's here. What's really helped? Read that sentence. What's really helped?
Training in a gym near her office.
No, not that. Do you know singing?
Doing shorter train journeys.
That's it. So she says she's getting off. So what really helped, where is it? Is getting off several stations before the city center and walking. So if her train journey was an hour long, she shortens the train journey to 30 minutes and then walks the rest. Do you understand? I think we should all do that, to be honest. I think I should do that. Okay, number 4. What does Evie say about getting exercise in the office? Don't listen to any colleagues who start laughing at you. You may find that it reduces the amount of work you can do. Doing a lot of little things can make a big difference. It's best for each person to exercise on their own. What do you think, Singing?
Doing a lot of little things can make a big difference.
That's it. So the kind of things that she's doing are, instead of sitting all day, she stands up and walks when she speaks on the phone, or if she needs to talk to a colleague, instead of emailing them, she walks to them and has a conversation. She put the printer further away from her, so she has to get up to use it. So all of these little things matter. Which message might Evie send to a friend? A, I'd like to do more exercise at work, but I worry about what my colleagues might think. B, I'm enjoying this job a lot more now that I'm keeping myself more active during the day. C, I really regret leaving my job at the store, and one day I would like to go back there. D, I would rather live near the office so that I could spend less time traveling to and from work. What do you think, Tan?
I would rather live near the office so that I could spend less time traveling to and from work.
Let's see. I don't know about that. She doesn't say anything about that. She says, I didn't want to move house and it took far too long by bike. But what's really helped, so she doesn't really say necessarily that she would like to live closer. I think there's a better one that works. What do you think, Singing?
I'm enjoying this job a lot more now that I'm keeping myself more active during the day.
That's it. So she didn't enjoy it first, but then doing all these small things to keep herself active made her feel better about the job. Okay, now I want us to have a look at exercise 4. Exercise 4 has a couple of tips for getting more daily exercise. And I want you girls to have a look at the 6 of them, read them out in your head. And I want you to choose one that you think is the most useful for you, or that you, and tell me why. Okay, I'll give you 3 minutes to read them out first. Let's see. Which one is the most important tip for you, Tan? And why?
Number 6.
Yeah. So why do you think that's important?
Because this can motivate me to work.
So to walk more. So if you look at your steps on your phone, you feel more motivated, right? How many steps do you usually do per day?
I think have thousands.
How many thousands?
2 or 3.
2,000-3,000. Oh, you need to up that. Too little. Tan, very little. You need to walk a little bit more. Start with small things. Yeah, I did 15,000 steps yesterday. Do you use an app, Singing, to track your steps?
No.
No? Would that motivate you?
Maybe.
Maybe. What's the most important tip for you from these ones?
Sign up to read paper documents or textbooks.
So stand up rather than like lying down when you read. Yeah, lots of people in the pandemic during the lockdowns, they were buying desks, standing desks for working at home. So those desks that you can lift up, and after you sat on a chair for a couple of hours or minutes, then they would like lift the desk up and they could just stand for a while as well when they had meetings or phone calls on Zoom. I think that's really good. Okay, guys, very, very good. Now, we are going to have a look at the grammar section again, and we are looking at the past perfect right now. Now, I think you have quite a good knowledge of the past tense. We use it when we talk about things that obviously are in the past, that happened already. And I'm going to read out the examples here. Evie Scott experienced just that after she had changed job. For a while, I wondered whether I'd made a big mistake. So what do you notice? What do we need to form the past perfect? It's not the past tense, but the past perfect. We need three things. We need a subject, first of all. Then we need the verb to have in the past tense. Yeah, so I had, you had, he, she had, we had, and so on. And then we need a past participle. So if it's a regular past participle, it would be with ed at the end. I had walked, I had listened, I had recorded, yeah. But if it's an irregular one, and most of them, as we know, are irregular, it would be the past participle that you must have learned over and over again. So for example, I had spoken, I had I had made, I had written, yeah, and so on. Right, let's have a look at a few exercises on this, and if there are other irregulars that you're not really sure about, we can have a little practice. So exercise 2, I would like you to do this after I read the example. I sprained my ankle. I didn't go to fitness training. I didn't go to fitness training because I'd sprained my ankle. Okay, I'll give you a couple of minutes to do these and then we'll read them out. Okay, let's see. 10. Number 2.
I felt tired because I had walked all the way home.
Very good. I had walked all the way home. Sing in.
By the time I arrived at the stadium, the match had started.
Had started. Very good. And 10.
Because I had left my trainers at home, so I couldn't run in the race.
I couldn't run. Yeah, we don't need the so. Perfect. Because I had left my trainers at home, I couldn't run in the race. Perfect. Right, so let's see number 3. Work in pairs. Complete the sentences by using what happened next. Use the ideas in the box. I'll give you 2 minutes. Okay, let's see. Example is I'd run faster than everyone else, so I won the race. Number 2, Dan.
I had hurt myself, so I went to hospital.
Excellent. I went to the hospital. Singing.
When I went into the gym, I noticed someone left their trainers there.
Excellent. Someone had left. Past perfect, yeah? So I went to the gym, but something happened before. So it needs to be a different tense. A past perfect, not the past simple. Okay, so the two past activities, but one happened before the other one. And Tan?
The bus was late, and by the time I got to the cinema, the film had started.
The film had started. Very good, Tan. Well done. Okay, now writing. And it is a story that we are looking at. This is an exam instruction. So your English teacher has asked you to write a story, and your story must begin with the following sentence. It was the most frightening experience of my life. Okay, so that's all the instruction. You're going to need to write in the first person, and you're going to need to think of something interesting to write about. We have an example here, and we're going to read the example first, and then we'll do exercise 2. Okay, so Tan, can you read the first paragraph?
Last month, I went snowboarding in Canada with my friend Lucy, who is a champion snowboarder. I was feeling nervous when we reached the top of the mountain because it had started to snow heavily and I couldn't see much.
Well done, sing in.
Lucy went first, but by the time I started snowboarding, she had disappeared. I went down faster and faster, and I thought I saw her go off to the right. So I turned right too. But soon I came to some cliffs and I had to stop. I was terrified. Had she gone over the edge?
Carry on, finish off.
I waited and shouted, and suddenly Lucy was there. I had gone the wrong way, but she had heard me calling and then she had found me. I felt safe at last.
Very good, well done. Okay, so let's have a look. Decide which paragraph, in which paragraph the things happened. So we have 3 paragraphs. A is describes the main event. That's paragraph number 2. Which paragraph sets the scene for the action? Sing in.
First paragraph.
Paragraph is like 1, 2, 3. So which one of these?
First.
First, yes, excellent. First paragraph. Which paragraph describes the writer's feelings afterwards? And 3, excellent. Which one tells us about the final event, singing?
The third paragraph.
The third one, yeah. Which one explains what really happened? Dan.
Paragraph 2.
Paragraph 2. And which one introduces the story saying who did what, where, and when? Singing.
First.
The first one. Right. So when you're writing your story, which is going to be your homework, you will need to write 3 paragraphs. It has to start with, it was the most frightening experience of my life. And in the first paragraph, you need to set the scene for the action and introduce the story, who is part of the story, where it's happening, and when. Then in the second paragraph, you tell me exactly what happened, the main event. And in the third one, any consequences or feelings that you had afterwards. Okay? And I'm going to set it as a what's it called? An assignment right now on Google Classroom. Okay, so let me just get on Google Classroom and set the assignment for you. 1 second. What kind of words, what kind of keywords do you think about when you think of this story? It has to start with, it was a frightening experience. So what kind of things pop in your head? Tan, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
At night, and I was alone at home.
Interesting. I like that. What about you singing? What's the first thing that comes in your mind?
Don't know.
What would be really frightening for you?
Alone in a dark place.
Okay, interesting. Any adjectives? Any adjectives that come to your mind?
Terrifying.
Anything else, Dan?
Scared.
Scared? Yeah, perfect. Okay, I've just uploaded it. Let me just create a document that you can both write in, and I'll send you the link. One second. There you go. I'm sending you the link here so you can see it. Tell me if you can access it. Yeah, can you see it? Yeah, both of you? Yeah. Okay, well done, guys. So I look forward to reading your very frightening stories. Try to create suspense and use interesting vocab. Use the past perfect. Try to use the past perfect in this. And try to use defining and non-defining relative clauses as well. Okay? Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Well, singing, get a rest after all the exams, and Tan, have a good weekend as well. See you next week.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.